What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's September the 7th, 2022, and I'm just uh, I'm just sitting back and I've been watching. I'm paying attention to things, and you know, as always, around the county, Guilford County, in North Carolina, and it just seems like they're just not gonna get right with the priorities, man. Um, So it seems on the September the 1st, Thursday, September the 1st, 2022, uh, the county commissioners seem to have a massive amount of security present at one of their meetings. And people that were there, citizens, what have you, were wondering like what was going on. Even some members didn't understand what was going on. Um, it was said, and this comes from the Rhino Times. It was said that the commissioner was asked, and he said it's a different time. They said they had security all up and down the stairwells. It was just massive amount of security there, that to the point that it had people questioning like what was going on. Was it some type of threat to any of the commissioners, or any the government, city officials? Like, what was going on? So it was like nobody really knew what was going on. And I'm starting to think, because then we had on a Friday, the following day, September the 2nd, 2022, there was a big fight that broke out at one of the high schools in Greensboro, Guilford County. Once again, that was September the 1st. There was just a massive presence of security on hand at one of the commissioners' meetings. September the 2nd, 2022, on a Friday, there was a big fight that took place at one of the high school football games on a Friday evening. And I'm just appalled. And then with the things that people like, you had like Sharon Hightower, they're just like surprised and not understanding like what. There were 1,500 people in attendance at a high school football game. Okay, and we have to wonder. So if a county commissioner on September the 1st says, uh, yeah, it's a new time, a new era rather, he says that in response to why they have so much security present at a commissioners meeting, why are we still not thinking the same for these children, for these students, for these athletes, for these people who are attending a high school football game? Why aren't we thinking about having security? Don't, when you watch professional games, college games, there's security on hand. Don't, when you watch college games, right, you ever see at the end, even in professional games, and we want to talk about football, because this was a high school football game that two fights broke out inside and outside of the game at one Dudley High School, right, in Greensboro, North Carolina. So we want to think about this. When you watch any college football games, don't you see at the end of the game, do you see how much the security comes? Even when the coaches are meeting in the middle of the field to shake hands and, to wish each other well for the rest of the seasons or whatever. Do you see the presence of sheriff officers around them? Do you see, whenever you do get the pan, whenever the camera does get the pan, you get to see security flanked around? You ever watch the professional games? You see the same thing. If you're paying attention, you will see security flanked around and positioned in different places. So why no one knew what all of the security was about for a commissioners meeting, I mean, they said it was security. I mean, it was just overwhelming. You could just imagine if you've been in the Guilford County old courthouse, whatever. I mean, there was security always upstairs, downstairs, like they were just all over the place, like massive, to the point where people thought that something had happened or somebody, maybe it was some type of threat, you know. Um, so you can imagine that. So you say, okay, that happened on the first. So on the second, a fight broke out, but they didn't have no security like that at a high school football game. So again, once again, the priority is on the wrong place. They're not thinking about nothing but themselves. We have these grown folks who are put in positions to do for the people, to service the people. But they're not trying to service the general public. They're trying to service themselves. And it's a crying shame, when I step back and I look at so many things. And I've just got to the point, that's why on my platform, I've been busy doing so many other things, behind the scenes that, I just been compelled to, like, whenever I really feel like putting out a video, I'll put out one, because I've spoken about so many things. If no one never knew anything about what was going on, in this county, in Guilford County, around the state of North Carolina, I've put you up on quite a few things. You can just go into my archives and look at all the videos that I've put out, well over 170 videos. Okay? No exaggeration. Go back and look at them. I started out my channel, like, I revamped this channel during COVID 2020, and I just was talking about so many things around the globe that was going on, so many things locally that were going on. So, I've spoken about so much. So now it's just like, hey man, you can just sit back and look at what I was saying and look at what's going on right now. And it amazes me how, when it comes to children, and this is for around the country, period, it amazes me when it comes to situations with children, it almost seems to be brushed off, and it is almost made to look at as something, everyone's in awe about some of the things or the violence that takes place around the children, right? But when it comes to adults with situations, and we talk about, just like what I'm talking about with Guilford County Commissioners, it's necessary for them to protect themselves, and they have to be on high alert for themselves, for adults, okay, that's servicing the public. They should be on high alert. They should have all the security they need. But when it comes to the children, there's a void there. There is a dash. Like, nobody just seems to think that the children needs the security. All the things that have been going on. So they have all the security in the courthouse, right? But a lot of our issues that have been happening in the last decade has been happening in schools. Our children have been under attack. And there's a lot of pussyfooting that's been going on. Dragging the feet. Now, I commended them for making the move, Guilford County Schools, of putting up some security cameras and everything of that nature, and, trying to update their security system. But let's just see how long that lasts. And on top of that, you need bodies in the place, not just the cameras. You need bodies, you need security, you need officers on deck. Our children are under attack. Someone said, or Sharon Hightower said, in Greensboro, she says, yeah, well, it wasn't any, the fight didn't happen, it didn't start at Dudley High School. It wasn't none of the students. It don't matter. if it was the students. When you hear a fight in the school, the first thing you're gonna, and it's on school grounds, the first thing you're gonna think is it's the students. So it doesn't really matter if it was the students or not. It took place on those grounds. So it don't matter. All you know is when you hear something like that, a big brawl, and then this just be shootings have been happening in the area. It's kind of a rough side of town. It can be pretty rough over there. To me, it's not rough. You know what I mean? From where I come from, you know, up north, but it's rough. For the city of Greensboro, it's rough. It's a rough side of town. Okay, and it be some sketchy patches over there. Okay, that side of town needs the continuous police presence on that side. Okay, so for one, when you have 15 folks at a high school football game, you don't think that you need security? You have 1,500 folks at a high school football game. You don't think you should beef up your security? You should. Now, no, that's not going to start a fight. I mean, excuse me, that's not going to stop a fight. But it can kind of give someone a second guess when you see a bunch of security present, walking around armed, securing the premises. Okay? Walking around the perimeter, securing and making everyone feel safe. You know, if we could do it at state fairs, if we could have all the security, state police and county police and city police, if we can have all of this at state fairs, okay, you know, why can't we do the same thing? I just can't understand what is not understood. And I always, you know, when it comes to the students, what really grinds my gears, man, is when it comes to the students, it's always got to be a price tag attached to how much it costs us for this. But I want somebody to tell me from Guilford County, the commissioners, someone downtown, tell me how much it costs for all of this security y'all had present on September the 1st, Thursday, September the 1st, that evening. Tell me how much that price tag was. You know what's funny? They never talk about price tags when it comes to when adults are doing things. But when it comes to with the children, it's always, it's costing us $20 million or blah, blah, blah to put these cameras in all the schools. Who gives a flying fuck? Who really cares? We're protecting the children. Okay? That's just the same way you want to think when you know, when you take your child to, if you take your child to a daycare, they're in the care of those folks while you're handling your business, okay? While you're working, whatever. While you're handling your business, you are entrusting said daycare or aftercare program or after school program to watch over your child, right? In your absence. So the same way, regardless of these are high school students, young adults, you entrust that your child is going to be protected while they're in this adult care. Okay, regardless of how mature your young adult you believe they are, or they think they are, or anyone else thinks they are, they're still minors. Okay, and so it just amazes me. Just the thought process. But yeah, I just wanted to chime in for that. And I'm just doing so much, got so many things going on right now, like, handling business and but I'm always watching. And some things I don't choose to speak on because I've already spoke about it. All you have to do is just go back in to my archives and look. I've spoke about so many things. Um, and I just feel at this point now there's nothing else to be said, because I've said it all. I feel so. It's just like, hey, let's just step back, and I'm not gonna turn my page into some type of, like I say, my page. I'm not gonna turn my channel into something else at this point, because now I feel like no. I'm not going to talk about entertainment news unless it has something to do with the people, unless it has something to do with what I speak on, unless it aligns with what I talk about. Other than that, this is not an entertainment channel. This is not a channel where we're going to be talking about what entertainers are doing with their money and what they're not doing with their money and how they're living and what type of beef they chewed at dinner. I don't have time to chase that stuff. That's not, my channel is for the everyday folks, boots on the ground, that's out here, trying to figure it out and looking for, informative information, that's going to help them, move through life a little bit and help them understand certain things that may be going on around you. That's what I'm here to talk about. But like I said in closing, you know, I'll pop in and out. I'm just not gonna leave my channel dormant. I am gonna pop in and out, but it's just yeah. I seen that and I'm like, come on, man. See, what you have massive security at a commissioners meeting, and then you say, as it was said in the Rhino Times, it said Skip Austin said, "Oh, it's a new era." Well, if it's a new era, why are we not thinking about that when it comes to the children? Why are we not thinking about that? Only when it only seems like you want to protect when it's in a county or the city's best interest. But so the students, you don't think when you have games of that magnitude, that size, that many people, you don't think you should have the security? You don't think that? You should have security, massive security at all times. You know, I'm just saying. But that's my time, folks. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll tap into y'all later.